Hey, I am so excited to be here. If you are watching now, you're watching the replay, so drop replay, hashtag replay in the comments. This is live, but it's also being recorded. So if you do not know me, I am Sapphire National Executive and Presidential Team Member Brittany Metke. And I am on top of the Dream Team organization, even though I have so many amazing leaders that are a part of that. And I wish I knew all the team names. But right now I am in Team Wonder Woman. But I will be reposting this into the Dream Team too. So anyways, thank you so much for having me. Today we are going to talk specifically about overcoming objections, which is one of my favorite topics to talk about. And the reason is because it was definitely like a mindset change on how I handled objections. So when I used to have someone immediately object, I would get definitely like panicked, offensive, take it personal, and that's just not the posture that you want to take. So we're going to talk about changing your mindset right there. So the first thing you want to do is, like, when you're talking to someone about signing up, like, or, you know, joining your team, you have to not feel like you're being super pushy or anything like that. A big thing for me is to change my posture in that I'm offering you a gift. I am offering you something that it's changed my life, or if you're new and it hasn't changed your life, you have testimonies of people in your team that, you know, how it's like making a difference, whether it's, you know, paying for groceries or, you know, paying for, you know, lifetime changes. So there's that. When you're sharing Color Street, you get excited, you get passionate, but you're definitely going to have people that object to the opportunity. And we're going to go over some of the most common objections, because here's the thing, like, people really can only say no in certain terms, right? So like I said, you don't panic, you don't take it personal, and you don't get bummed out. And I say a no is never like a forever no. A lot of times it's like a call for more information. A lot of times when people say no, it's because they're misinformed. They don't have enough information. And a lot of times it's just not the right time. And that's fair. The other thing is, like, you do not want to come off as desperate. And so many times when people get signed up, they do come off as like desperate. And no, that's not attractive. And we definitely try to practice, like, we want to just attract people. We talk about attraction marketing. You know, we don't want to like hold hostages, force. If someone doesn't want to come on, you don't want them, because the thing is, it's going to be, that is like how your relationship is going to be the whole time. You're going to be holding them hostage, dragging them along, hitting them up all the time, because the thing is, when you're a leader, your personal goals are not going to match every single person's goals out there. So the first thing you always do is you kind of find out what people are wanting from this. And when I sign up someone, I want to know, like, do you want to be a leader? Do you want to be a leader? Do you want that life-changing income? Or do you want to kind of do a hobby? Or do you just want a few extra bucks? Because that's going to engage my posture when I talk to them, but also like how much I invest into them, you know, as a leader. I'm not going to invest my time. I'm not going to offer placements. You're not going to push someone who doesn't want it. It is a waste of time, and I'm telling you this from experience. You can only do so much, but you cannot like force your goals on people. And that's definitely a big tool when you're overcoming objections and when you're talking to people. A big tip is to listen to what they're telling you. And what I always do is I kind of like, okay, so what I'm hearing you tell me is this. So I'm going to give you, there's a couple old school tools. The number one is you feel, felt, and found. Okay, so I have this from regionals last month. And you validate their feelings. Like, okay, I have been there too. What I always do is when someone gives me an objection, I always tell them, like, thank you for telling me that. Thank you for telling me that. Like, I totally get it. I have been there too. But what I found is, and so we're going to practice that with an objection. Okay, let me find one common one. Let's see here. Boop, boop, boo. Okay, I don't have enough time for color streets. I will say, I don't have enough time to do this. I'm so busy. Like, I have a bunch of kids. I'm in school. I just started a business. I will be like, oh, wow, thanks for telling me that. So I totally felt that. When I signed up for Color Street, I had 4 children at home. I was a full-time student. And what I found is that I was able to kind of fit it in times like that I didn't realize I had. I stopped, spending time like doing nothing on social media, and I kind of dedicated to that. Our team offers training on how to kind of like manage your time. And so what I found is when I opened myself up to that is that I actually did have time. And another thing, when people say they don't have busy, that they're too busy, I'm like, I love people that are busy. People that are busy, that they have good work ethic. Those are the people I want. I recently signed up someone, and she literally is nonstop. She's a mom. She has her own boutique. She runs it, and but that shows me that she's a hustler. So I want her, and I'm like, listen, I was busy too. And what I found is that I was able to kind of fit this in different areas. Like, you're already online, you're already scrolling. And also what I found is I save so much time. I meet people just by wearing the product. So, it's kind of that feel, felt, found. Like, I get what you're saying. I hear you. I felt that too. But what I found was that there was another option to it. Another big objection is I don't have anyone that would buy this. And I'm like, thank you for telling me that. I totally get what you're saying. I was there too. I had 200 Facebook friends. I never left the house at all. But what I found is that I was able to grow my team strictly on social media. I have personally enrolled 100 people, and that was learning stuff from my team. So you always want to edify your team and the trainings on your team, because that's what's going to set you apart from other people they're talking to. So my leader taught us this great way. She grew her team on social media. The company has these great trainings on how to get outside your circle. I found ways to kind of overcome that, because when I started, all I had was family and friends, and let me tell you, my family and friends were not super supportive. So you just always want to make sure, because what they're saying is they don't know how it works. They think that they're going to have to bother their friends and families. And like I said, it's a lot of, it's a misconception from things in their past. But the thing is, when you connect with someone, it gives you an opportunity to get on their side for them to know what you're saying. But it also shows that you're empathetic, that you're a real person, that you're listening. So no matter what the objection, they really are a good thing. They feel safe to tell you why, they're feeling a certain way. When someone doesn't have an objection, that is almost worse. That means they haven't given it a thought. When someone actually has a reason on why they think it won't work for them, that means they've been considering it. And that's actually another, it's a better way to kind of get them, scooted along. And like I said, you don't want to force on them. So, when you're listening, you also want to ask questions to kind of you want to be very clear on what they're saying. Okay, I get it. I appreciate you for sharing that with me. That's a really good point. But you want to gain more understanding. So we really tend to want to solve the problem, and like I said, be pushy and desperate. But you really just want to listen and ask questions. So I'm busy. Okay, what? I see that you're busy. What do you mean? What are you doing? And you're like, oh my gosh, no, I totally get it. I see that you're busy, and I see you're on social media a lot already, and you could do this. I really feel like you could, because I remember feeling busy too. And you just want to be honest and empathetic. And there may be someone that after you talk to them, you realize they're not a good fit. We don't benefit from having a down. I know, I remember feeling like I just need one person. I just want one person to sign up. It doesn't benefit us to have a downline full of zeros. It doesn't benefit us to have someone that doesn't want to do this at all. So it's better just to move along and to find someone that would be a good fit than kind of focus on someone that's just not into it. And believe me, I remember when I signed up and I saw all these people recruiting people and I was like, I just want one person, just one person. But sometimes it's about the right person, you know? Another big thing is you always hear a big common objection is I'm not a salesperson. I'm not a salesperson. And I'm always like, oh my gosh, I get it. And then I'm like, well, what part of selling things, like what makes you uncomfortable about it? And usually, you know, they might say that they feel like pressured. They don't want to feel like pressured to like bother their friends and family. And so that's when you're like, oh my gosh, like I totally get it. Like when I'm on my news feed and I see people just posting their links and that, like, that's just, I don't like that either. And so what I found is like my company doesn't even like that either. We don't like people cold messaging and spamming people. What I found is that I have been able to, sorry, I just lost my train of thought. What I found is that I've been able to, sorry, you guys. I just had someone walk in and I get so distracted. Sorry. Okay. I'm not a salesperson. We're not, right? But what we do know is like when we like a product, we totally tell our friends and family. When we like a movie, we go out and tell them we like a movie. When we get our hair done from somebody, we go and tell them. We are not salespeople. We share things. We share the product. We share the opportunity. So we're just kind of share people. And so what I said is what I found is I don't have to be a salesperson. I just put on the product and I wear it and then that's it. That's done. And that's kind of where I go from there. And then I'm like, do you see me as being pushy? When when you found the product, do I look like I'm like a stalker or crazy? No. And you have that relationship with them that they know that you weren't like crazy or like desperate or anything like that. And always use yourself. I'm like, hey, when I had you sign up, did you feel like I was being a pest? No, I was just sharing an opportunity. And so you use like your experience and your relationships and stuff like that as a focal point to go from there. So, and I told you about being busy. A big thing is about not having the money. Who's heard that? I don't have the money to invest. That's one of the biggest objections. Not having the money, I'm like, believe me, I get it. When I signed up, we were on food stamps. We were on Medicaid. I had just invested thousands of dollars that we borrowed to start another business. So I was like, I get what it's like to not have the money. But what I found is I was kind of spending it in different places. I was going to Starbucks and stuff like that. And I was like, and I've seen people that, didn't have the money and like, I've helped them. Like, do you have something around your house that you could sell? I've seen girls like put on like yard sales just to get the $129, ask a friend to borrow it. We also do the mystery kits a lot of times, like where they can pre-sell the kit. If you are in our join group, we have that 150 ways to get $150. Here's the thing. You do not want to buy someone a kit. If they do not have a little skin in the game, they are not going to feel like they have an investment. If they're not willing to work to get the money for the kit, they're not going to work the business. And I've learned that the hard way. So, if that's their objection, if they're not willing to look forward through it, if they're not willing to, come up with a problem from day one, come up with a solution to the problem from day one, they're not someone you're going to want to invest into. And sometimes those objections that you hear from people might be what you need to hear so you move on to. And that's kind of where it comes to like moving, taking your business seriously and what you're doing. And, if this is just a hobby for you, and that's fine, and that's totally fine. It's a great product. It's fun. It's easy, but you have to make sure that your goals that you have for this company are matching the time and the work and the energy that you have on. Say you want to be an executive director, but you only have an hour a week to put towards this business, it's not going to work out. And I can tell you, I see these girls, that are top leaders, and they put their blood, sweat, and tears to it. And I see them that have full-time jobs, haven't watched TV, for a little bit because they made sacrifices so they can, so they put their time and energy so it can match what their goals want to be. And sometimes, in the beginning, it is about taking sacrifices. Like I said, if you're cool making a couple $100s a month, then that's fine too. But here's a couple things about if you're working your business like a business, you should always be wearing the product, right? If you're not, then you're doing yourself a huge disservice, because that's the easiest way, is when you're out in public and you're wearing the product and people compliment it. Do you always have samples on you? That's what a business person does. You always have samples on you. You're always looking for the opportunity to share the product with people. And I told you how I bumped up my enrolling this month was learning that I need to always be sharing it. And that's taking your business seriously. A big part of also, working this like a business is reinvesting. So let me tell you, when you go and open a brick and mortar business, these people, that open up shops and stuff, they literally take out loans that sometimes bankrupt them. This is a very low cost, low risk investment. But some of them don't see a profit for years. A lot of them leave the first couple years in the red, because what they're doing is they're growing their inventory, they're growing their people. And I'm going to give you a quick example. My boyfriend recently started a business and he's doing really well. But to gain traction, he had, to make sure that he bought business cards. He had to make sure he bought supplies, samples to give to people. And he will even, he'll offer free shipping, which sometimes that negates the fact. So someone signed up to be a preferred client of his, and he sent them a gift card. Thank you. And she's like, well, doesn't that negate the fact, what you're trying to do? And he's like, listen, I believe in my product and my company that I'm sure that you're going to buy from me again. It's about making an investment, and sometimes it's, you may not see a profit for a while if you're truly, making sure you have samples, reinvesting. When I sold what was in my kit, I went and placed an order online to have new nail strips to offer to people. And that is what it really means to take it serious. And like I said, that's not for everyone. We don't want people to inventory load. But for those that do want to kick it up a notch, and I never have someone sign under the false pretense that you're going to make $1 million right away. You do have to invest. You do need to, as soon as you buy the kit, go and order some business cards. Make sure you have money to mail out samples. Make sure you have, and we do have budget-friendly ways. I think when I first mailed out my first samples, I literally typed it up on my computer, the directions, and then I had my contact. So it doesn't have to be expensive, but you have to be able to invest a little bit back and just keep, reinvesting. Look at your supplies right now. Do you have the newest samples? Do you have, the fall bundle is a great example. So what you see when you look at someone that may be succeeding and they look like they're succeeding, the thing is they are taking their business seriously, and they probably are, constantly working, making sure they always have nail bars booked. And I can tell you personally, those months where I wasn't taking my personal business seriously, it was hard all around. It was tough. And so it just kind of, and that's what sets people apart. We are not a get-rich-quick scheme at all. That's another thing. I don't want to join a pyramid scheme. How many of you people have friends that are friends and family that when you signed up, they thought it was like a pyramid scheme? They were like, oh my gosh, da-da-da-da. Well, that is definitely being misinformed. But I've been there too. I remember seeing these people always post about stuff and I was like, oh my God, they're in a pyramid scheme. They don't know they're in a pyramid scheme. So that is definitely, when people say that, they are totally misinformed. They're not educated on what a pyramid scheme is. You know, the legal definition of a pyramid scheme is an exchange of money without a product. It is illegal in the United States. We offer an amazing product that's very affordable. Our comp plan pays out generously for this product. You get, if you compare the comp plan to other comp plans, like we do pay out pretty well. So when I have someone that accuses me of being in a pyramid scheme, I'm like, well, tell me about your business a little bit. Every business that has a CEO, vice president, managers, that is actual pyramid shape. That is a pyramid shape. I remember literally every 6 months having to beg for a 10-cent raise. I remember getting paid and it not matching what I felt I deserved. When you're in multi-level marketing, you look at the compensation plan or direct, it is the person at the bottom of it can make as much as the person at the top of it. We have people that have signed up in March, that are making 5 figures. We have people that are a part of this that make probably more than the CEO of the company, that make more than the vice president of the company. So it's I think it's the most even playing ground there is. And so when people use that as an objection, they really are misinformed. They've probably been burned before. And listen, there are some bad apples out there. There's some really bad apples in the MLM industry that, people hear stories and they kind of think it sets the tone, like older companies where people did like lose so much money. But I'm confident that that's not us, and I would never, I have too much integrity to tell someone to buy $1 million in nail strips. No, we're not that. We actually have a product that is consumable, that's affordable, and we're not, and so that's definitely, I think that's definitely a big objection, and that just comes down to, like I said, people just not being informed. So I don't know, is there anything you guys want to ask me? Another objection? Anyone have any other objections you can think about? Oh, and I know another thing people talk about, what if I do if they just don't reply? They read my stuff, but they don't reply. So I used to think that when people, it looked like they read my stuff, you saw their little head, never assumed that they really saw it. My kids get on my phone, they open messages, and to the other person that they may think that I've read it, and I haven't. And I go back and I'll be like, oh my God, I never even seen this. So I just keep sending it. If they read it and they didn't reply, the next time I send, another message. And then, eventually you'll just be like, hey, I don't want to keep bothering you. You told me you were interested. If you're not interested, that's totally fine. With me, do you know someone that might, like this opportunity? Because referrals are really important. And I know I used my boyfriend as an example earlier, but he also talked to someone about joining his opportunity, and the guy was like, no, it's not really for me. And he's like, well, do you know someone? And he's like, you know what? Actually, I do. And he coordinated for them to meet and have a lunch and talk about the business. So, referrals, just because they may not be interested in it doesn't mean they don't know someone that is interested in it, if that makes sense. So, all right, go ahead. Shoot me with some more objections if you guys have anything. So you guys know the big important thing, filled, felt, found, or just listening to them, asking questions. It's usually a call for more information. You don't panic. You don't freak out. You don't take it, be defensive. Another big tip is, it's okay to not know the answers to things. And that's why, in our team, we really practice, the ATM, adding your upline. When you have, a third person in the conversation, doing a 3-way call or, just being able, hey, I don't know this, but I think my upline might. not only does that, like, you know, it shows some humility, but it also shows that you have a team that's supportive of you and is willing to, like, help answer questions at any time. Which, again, like, a big part when people sign up is, like, they have been, you know, they've been hurt in the past to where they've signed up for a company and then those people, like, totally ghosted on them. You know, and we want to show that we're always going to be supportive there. We're always going to have a lot of training. We're always going to be there to answer your questions. I literally answer private messages from people that are like 17 lines down. There's like 6 executives between us, but you know, if you're on my team, you're on my team. And I actually even answer questions from people who aren't on my team. And that's just because we're like a family. But what I'm saying is, like, you want to show that. So it's really edifying to, like, you know, I don't know the answer. I just signed up a few days ago, but, you know, my upline does. So are you okay doing a Zoom call? You know, can I add her in a group message with us? So, okay. Those are some of my big tips on overcoming objections. And like I said, working as a business, but I don't know, can anyone think, because those are really the main ones. That's the thing about objections. There's not really a lot. Not enough time, not enough money, I can't do this, I'm not a salesperson, I don't want to bother my friends. Those are really the most common ones. So a lot of it is about practicing, gaining confidence, because, like, when you're confident in the opportunity, people can tell that. And, like, when you're kind of scared and timid, they can also tell that too. And that's why I always say, like, when you're trying to enroll someone, being able to talk to them on the phone live or in person, that's when you can really show off the real confidence that you have in them, in the business, and the opportunity. And all of this stuff works for hostesses. You know, hostesses that say they don't have enough time. You know what I mean? It works the same thing. It really does. Sorry, like, I totally got distracted. We're getting our shower worked on. And, like, I was here and they walked in to fix it and I was like, squirrel. Well, if you have an objection and you think of it later, you can always feel free to message me or comment under here and tag me. I'm sure I'll do, like, a few more trainings on this. But like I said, there's really not a lot of objections at all. And, oh, okay, so yeah, you must have missed that. But not enough time is, like, a big thing. It is, yeah, you missed it, but it's fine. I can just go over it real quick. When people say they don't have enough time, your first thing is, like, I understand that. And Anna, you're a good example. But, like, believe me, I did not think I had enough time too. You know, I'm a mom, I work full time. But what I found is that I was able to, my team has a lot of trainings to teach us how to do this, you know, in a time block, how to work this totally online. And what I found is, like, I was able to kind of fit it in when I was doing other things on social media. I was able to fit it in. And then also, like I said, a lot of people tell me that they don't have enough time, which means they don't think they're going to be successful. And I always tell them that my people that are the most busiest are the most successful. The ones that are always hustling, that don't have that extra minute, those are the ones that I see succeed the most in the business, honestly. The ones that say that. So it depends. Are they saying they don't have enough time and they don't think they'll be able to do it, or they're not sure they can fit it in? You can use both of those. But the biggest thing is, like, you use your own example, Anna. You're a great example. I use my mom, or say, like, my mom she literally has a full-time job. But, like, when I signed up, you know, I was a stay-at-home mom to 4 children. And I was a full-time student. I did not have time. Not at time. Yeah, you want the people with the hustle. Like, when I see these people that are busy, I'm like, oh my God. Like, and they are, like, doing their own thing. They're always, like, you know, opening up their own, you know, business or some kind of, like, those are the people, the hustlers. You want the hustlers. Like, I'm like, oh, I love busy people. I love it because I know that you're driven, you're a self-starter. You have to be a self-starter to be, so like we said, those actual pyramid companies with a CEO, you have a boss. You have someone following you, telling you what to do every day. Here, it's totally up to you. It's totally up to you whether you decide to get up and, like, go live, do a live sale. If you decide to pack up samples and carry them, it's totally up to you. If you decide to approach your waitress, it's up to us. So it's whether you're a self-starter or I just thought of another one. People that think like they're introvert or shy. Like, I am 100% introvert. You know how many times I've seen people in this company that were so shy and then like have turned around and been rock stars? It's amazing. So, I just remember that. Like, that's a big one too. They're like, I'm shy. And I'm like, I promise you, I don't have the confidence. And I'm like, I can totally relate to that. I said the same thing. But what I've found is that when you find a product and a company that you love, it's so easy to share. I mean, like, remember when you read that book and you freaking loved it and you told every single person about it? Same thing. Same thing with this. When you love a product, it's so easy to share and the confidence is there. And that's another one people say, like, they're shy and stuff like that. It definitely takes a different type of person to succeed in this business. And like I said, you don't want everybody. We don't want to take any hostages or anything. Like, what is the point if you sign up 50 people and it's like 0, 0, 0, 0, 0? There's no point. So, well, anyways, I thank you for having me on today. If you think of any questions later, you can go ahead and, like I said, message me or comment under here. And reminder, till 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central Time, you have to get the fall pre-bundle, which you guys killed it with that already. And I think commission should be posting soon for you all waiting on that. So have a great day. I will talk to you soon. Bye.